Okay, I'm back.
Let's go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first AMA of March. This is our Thursday AMA. Obviously, we skipped Monday's AMA due to like some personal things that I was going through, but we got a really good one for you guys today. I know everybody was expecting to have a staking AMA. And we were going to be showcasing all the details on what to expect out of season 3. Um, I got unfortunate news, but I didn't have enough time to prepare all of the docs for that and all of the visuals and everything. So we're gonna have to postpone that for probably the next AMA again. But I do have a lot of bullish stuff that I'm going to replace it with today. Obviously, as you guys know, I was going through a bunch of personal things with family and whatnot. So I apologize for not being able to deliver on the staking AMA. But today we have pretty much a bunch of crazy announcements that I'm going to be giving, and this is something that everybody has been waiting for quite a while now. Finally, we have some pretty close up dates as to what to expect with everything that we've been talking about for the past 6 to 8 months, right? So we'll get right into it. And the first thing I want to talk about, which is going to be the first thing that's coming out, is breeding. And breeding is we have a date over here. It's going to be March 13th is the official launch date that we want to go with. It could be give or take a day or two here and there, but March 13th is the official breeding date. So that's where you guys will be able to kind of like get your first hands on breeding. Obviously, I shared a whole bunch of test breeds that I did today inside of the Telegram. I don't know if you guys were checking that out or not, but we had a whole bunch of different variations of test breeds that were just randomly being generated. Uh, and I was sharing with you guys, and they all look great. They all look amazing. The EFTs that come with it, some of them come with 11 different equipable traits. So when you breed, you're not just going to be getting one item. You're not just going to be getting the one Shibadoge bred NFT. You're going to be getting, 5 to 11 different types of equipable items that will also be their own specific NFT, right? So obviously we've talked about that, and that's something that is going to be one of the cooler things to look forward to. One thing we haven't talked about is, and this is something new, but it's called the Armory. We haven't really mentioned this at all yet, but give or take a week after breeding goes live, um, we're going to launch something called the Armory. And the Armory is going to pretty much be where the wearables live, where the equipables live, and where you'll be able to customize and do all of that crazy stuff with interacting with your NFTs through the Armory, right? So you'll have like gear packs, you'll have different like, oh, here's something that's going to be awesome. So with the Armory, we're going to introduce something that is going to pretty much make you guys want to keep coming back and continuously interacting with the community, with the NFTs and the EFTs, because we're going to be introducing a carousel style supply crate drop where every day or every week or whenever we decide, right? Obviously, it'll be very often, but there will be new items in rotation, limited number of items in rotation that you guys will be able to go in there and claim for free. But they will be limited items, and each item will be specific to the ranking of NFT that you have. So if you have a higher ranked NFT, you'll be able to claim the higher ranked rarer items, right? So you'd still be able to get a rare item even if you don't have the rarest NFT, but the only way to do that is to pretty much get it off the secondary market or trade somebody on the secondary market. The carousel style system is going to be something really cool because we can introduce all kinds of new features and collaborations with different people as well too. So it creates like a sense of exclusive items that are going to be dropping there. And the thing is, like 99%, 95% of the items that go on the armory, after they're done, then they're sold out. They will never ever be reintroduced back into supply. So it'll be like one-time drops. They're there. Whoever claims them claims them. As soon as they're sold out, they're gone forever. There will be limited items that we will bring back here and there, but 95% of the things that go on there are pretty much going to be uh, one-time claim and gone. So it's like the rarity factor of these items that will be introduced in the future is going to play a huge role as to how these EFTs are valued by the community. And we're going to have um, two different styles of a, let's call it a store, where one of them would be like a general store where we'll have like the general items that drop and like the common items, and then we'll have the black market, and the black market is going to be where all the secondary stuff are the super legendary stuff, the really rare stuff, the items that are going to have abilities, the items that are going to have all kinds of features. The black market is going to be something that we're going to introduce as well. That'll be part of the armory in a sense. So that's something to look forward to. And obviously all of the supply crates, the 8,888 item supply crates that we're working on releasing, those will also be a part of the black market too, because you will never be able to get those again anywhere else. So whatever reveals out of those crates are all black market items, which is something to value as well. Now, talking about the free mint, since we're dropping dates here, we're about 3 weeks out from launch. We're aiming for March 23rd for our launch day for the free mint supply crates. We have about 40 different NFT projects that we're collaborating with, at least 40 different NFT projects that we're going to be collaborating with, actually, in order to promote this project, and vice versa. We're also going to be kind of helping those other 40 projects do a bit of promotion as well. But the point of this is to kind of like get the word out to as many people as humanely possible, and create as much hype and create as much attention, but bring as much attention as we possibly can to our project, considering that we do have a plethora of things coming out this month. And pretty much now that we have the dates in mind and everything in mind, like we're pretty much ready to go. It's pretty much at a pull of a trigger as to when we can release everything. Right now, it's all about kind of like doing these last minute loose end things, collaborating with these projects, getting the word out there, doing a little bit of marketing, and starting to roll things out. Now, season 3 is going to follow immediately after the crates go live, right? Not the same day or anything like that, but maybe like a week or two after the crates go live on March 23rd. We'll release season 3 staking. I can talk about a couple of things that we are working and testing right now on staking, which is something that's really bullish and something that we really like. So as far as the staking goes, we fixed the pairing thing where you had to have both a Doge and a Shiba to receive burn tokens. We kind of like let that slide last season. In season 2, we just allowed you guys to get the burn tokens whether you were paired up or not. But now moving forward in this upcoming season, you're only going to be able to receive those burn tokens if you have a pair, a Doge and a Shiba. But the crazy thing that I like the most that we're working on, our devs are working on this too. There's no promise as to whether it'll be implemented this season or not, but we're working on a layer integration, a layer 3 integration that will actually help with taxes. I'm saying taxes, I'm sorry, with gas fees. So if we could get this figured out, and if we can bring on board a layer 3 integration, we can bypass a lot of the issues that people are having with gas fees. I mean, I know some people have like hundreds of NFTs that they stake and unstake, and it costs a pretty penny to pay those gas fees to do it. So if we can get the layer 3 integration stuff all figured out before season 3 launches, then that's something that we'll kind of like introduce. If not, we'll work on getting it in for the next season. But that is something that we're working on, and I do know, like, we have had a lot of people bring it up and had concerns about seeing if we could do something about trying to fix or lower those gas fees so people don't have to just spend unnecessary gas. Obviously, it's not unnecessary because you're kind of like interacting with the NFTs, and anything you do on chain is going to cost gas anyway. So it is what it is, but we were trying to figure out solutions around it. Let's see here. So another thing that will happen during the crate reveal is there are going to be a certain number of items inside of those crates that when the reveal happens, those items will not reveal. They'll reveal into like a question mark, or they'll stay unrevealed. We don't know exactly how they'll look just yet. But if you happen to get one of those items that don't reveal when the reveal happens, don't freak out. You actually got one of the rarest items in the collection if you happen to have one of those. What will happen with those is they will actually reveal into one of the most legendary items. We're not going to announce what it is, but if you happen to get an item that doesn't reveal into anything when the reveal for the crates happens, don't be mad, be happy, because you have managed to pull one of the rarest things in the collection. So that's something we're looking forward to as well. There are a lot of little Easter eggs and a lot of little things that we have hidden inside of everything that we're releasing. Obviously, we've been working on a scavenger hunt that we were talking about for quite some time. Obviously, that's a work in progress, but we're hiding little Easter eggs in everything we do, so we can actually kind of have that element of like a storyline when we do introduce some of those unique adventures with the treasure hunts and scavenger hunts and whatnot. So it's all coming together, guys. Everything is looking good. I've obviously been dealing with my own things, but the guys have been killing it. They've been working hard while I've been kind of dealing with this. Obviously, I'm kind of trying to get back into the rhythm, which it will be good. I'm here today. I wasn't able to come on Monday, but I'm going to be here for every AMA moving forward. Be able to kind of be back on track as to pretty much as if like nothing ever happened, moving forward, right? I just need to suck it up and kind of accept everything that happened and move on, because this is more important than anything. Obviously, I sent a pinned message in today's Telegram announcements that we released a whitelist option for the crates, and there's instructions in the Discord on how to participate and get chosen for a whitelist. So if you do get chosen for a whitelist, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a EFT crate. Obviously, you won't have to compete with anybody else during the public mint. You'll be guaranteed to get a free mint if you're whitelisted. So join the Discord. It's in the announcement tab. Go ahead and check what the requirements are to participate in the whitelist. There will be other ways to get whitelisted too. Moving forward, we'll release more things, and we'll release more information as to how else you could get whitelisted. But as of right now, this is one of the first introduction of a whitelist. So go ahead and check that out, read it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to tag me in it, or tag me in Telegram too. We're going to actually start seeing a lot more people coming into Discord. And when people come into Discord, we want to be able to make it so that there's a more of an active community there, like there is on Telegram. So if you guys do have Discord, please go ahead and join our Discord and talk in the main chats, in the Telegram chat, in the general chat of Discord. We moved the buy bot out of the I just moved the buy bot out of uh, the primary chat today, so it won't be spamming the primary chat anymore. But let's just go in there. Let's keep that chat busy, because we are going to be seeing a lot of new faces coming in with these collaborations that we're doing, and we're going to be seeing a lot of new people having questions about the project, what we're all about. They're going to come in knowing that we're an NFT project and the EFT project, but they're not going to know about everything else that we have going on, right? So it's our jobs to kind of be communicating with these people that are going to be coming in. And we do expect a ton of people coming in, because Max put together a very, very extensive marketing plan for what we're going to be doing for the coming weeks and coming days. You guys will very quickly notice, when things get put into high gear. But yeah, I mean, everything is coming along. Alex, Max, if you guys have anything that I missed or maybe overlooked, um, let me know, and I'll get right
Yeah,
in.
Leo, so humble of you. We have so much coming this month, and you're just so humble, spending such great amount of link to explain each thing. Like the breeding, we've been working on that for over the past 9 months, and this is one of the biggest things the community has been waiting for. Uh, that we've been talking about since the beginning of the project, and it's finally here. We've taken the time to think through and build it out in a way where it's going to set us in a league of our own with the Shibadoge NFTs. No one else is going to be doing dynamic NFTs and project collaborations and EFT collaborations the way we're going to be doing it. So we're already talking to 40 different projects right now who very in a very kind of soft launch type of way, they're already starting to promote us um, to their communities to get their communities into our project through the free mint, and the communities that we identified that are going to be the best ones that um, have people that love our project the most, we'll be doing a lot more with them, collaborating with EFTs and custom wearables with other projects. So the breeding is going to open up a plethora of opportunities on just business development, marketing, product, community growth, and so on. It's going to be a huge stepping stone for us. So that's one thing. The armory, additionally, is going to be something that really creates an experience with the community and the NFTs where they're going to be able to really interact and understand the value and the story and the utility behind certain wearables. So it's going to be something that really helps not only educate the current community but new people coming in, and also helping them transact in a safe and safe way. And then the free mint is something that I'm really bullish about too, because it's a perfect opportunity to bring in a ton of new people into our community. So a lot of the projects that we're working with um, really love our project just because we've been around for so long, we've done so much, and so many people are trying to work with us because we're one of the few proven projects at this point, and they see our community, they see you guys, and they're excited to work with us. So expect to see a lot of growth in the Discord over the next week to 2 weeks. Like Leo said, definitely go hang out in there. There's going to be a lot of new people coming in, so I'm sure they'll be coming with a lot of questions. So educate them, answer the questions. We're going to be doing more VCs in there. We're going to be doing Twitter Spaces leading up to these releases. We're going to be doing a lot of different things to get as much eyeballs as possible on these new releases. But we're packing all this up into 1 month, but it's it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot, and all three of the things work hand in hand with each other. So I think it makes sense for us to release them all towards the same amount of time. And I'm just excited to see how you guys like what we've been working on and what we've been building for the last past year. So this is something that I'm tremendously excited for us to be releasing, and can't wait to see in the hands of you guys and seeing how you guys uh, kind of create and design your NFTs before you even mint them, seeing how you guys customize them with different wearables and different rarities and so on. It's going to be a ton of fun and really exciting to see.
Yep. Max, you mentioned the armory, and I kind of want to touch on the armory one more time here, because the armory is going to be uh, probably one of the coolest things that we introduce throughout all this, even though it's a byproduct of breeding and a byproduct of the EFTs. I think the style of the armory and the things that are going to be included in the armory, the items that will be included in the armory, are going to be the bread and butter as to how people interact with their NFTs and how they interact with the project in general, right? So imagine the armory being like a place where it's, let's call it a gold mine, where there's only a certain amount of gold in there. And the people that go in there and grab that, it's first come, first serve. You come, you grab your gold, you go, and that gold mine is empty. The gold mine will refresh. There will be new gold mines, but it will always be the same system, right? It will always be a way for you guys to kind of go in there and claim something that will be free. It will be free depending on what rank NFTs you have. You'll be able to claim the item for that rank, and those items will never come back into circulation. It's kind of like, those clothing brands like Supreme, or some of these higher end designer clothing brands that only release things one time, and then they have a very rare threshold in the future on secondary markets. We're kind of trying to replicate that same system, and I think this is going to be a perfect way of introducing it and kind of also gamifying the whole thing as well, because the introduction of like a black market and the armory is going to be something that people can always come and find something refreshing and something new to do with their NFTs, right? It will never just be like, hey, okay, I'm stuck with these traits. I have my EFTs and I could customize it, blah, blah, blah. But then you'll always want something new, right? You always want to be able to get your hands on the newest, coolest thing, or be able to have a chance of getting something that wasn't there the day before. The armory will be able to pretty much support that and give people just new items and new experiences that they're looking for. So it will never be a dull moment with your Shibadoge NFTs. You'll always have something new to claim every single day or every single week, depending on how we structure it with the releases. And a lot of times when we do those drops and we do release some of the most legendary items, a lot of times you won't even know they're the most legendary items, because we might not even tell you guys. We might just be like, hey, we're releasing this, that, and X, Y, and Z. And you might go in there thinking, it's just another regular claim drop. And then you claim your items, and a week later you find out that these are extremely rare and they have functionality, and they add certain superpowers to your NFT moving forward. So this is a very, very good way for us to kind of keep everything fresh, keep everything on a high note, and be able to deliver a evolving product and something that doesn't just stay in its current form forever. And I think that's the most beautiful part about it. And this is why like companies like that develop tech are rolling out like over the air updates, is because nobody wants to be stuck with tech that stays the same. You want to always be able to run an update and get the coolest, newest features. And I think with the upgradable smart contracts that we're having implemented and built for breeding and the crates and the EFTs, combined with the armory that always switches up and always has exclusive items that will never return, I think we have pretty much set ourselves up for a pretty nice roller coaster ride of I don't know of what, but of Web3. Like nobody else is doing this, right? I can't think of any other project that's doing it the way we're doing it. I can say confidently that we're the only people in our category, in our space, that are pretty much doing this and introducing this. And the amount of work and the amount of time, the amount of money, and the amount of patience that we've put into getting this to the stage where it's at now, where we can finally, we shared with you guys the dates as to when we want to release. It has been a heck of a ride for us. We've put a lot into this, and we expect nothing but good out of it. And we're just super excited because it's been 8-9 months, what Max, 9 months in the making now, since we started with this idea and kind of pushing the whole narrative as to how we want to revolutionize that, the way NFTs work. So we finally achieved a way to do that, and something that we're happy with, and the amount of work and time that was put into it is, you know, you can't compare it to a botched 1 week project that that just comes out of nowhere, right? Like you're going to immediately be able to spot the difference. You're going to know that this is a quality thing. Probably one of the best UIs on the entire sector of Web3. There's going to be the websites are going to be amazing. The user interface is going to be amazing. The user the functionality of what the user is going to be able to get out of their UI and UX is going to be amazing. So just we made sure to check all these boxes. We made sure to make sure we can actually deliver a product that you guys are going to love, and a product that you guys are going to be able to be proud to own. And I think we did a great job, and I'm very excited for the next 11 days where you guys will finally be able to start breeding your NFTs and change the whole dynamic of what we're all about. Don't tell me I was muted the whole time again. Okay, I wasn't. Okay, good.
Leo, you were muted. Can you repeat yourself, please?
Sorry, I didn't.
you know, like a few AMAs ago, I did that, right? I had like a 30-minute, I had a 30-minute speech, and then at the end of it, I realized I was muted. Everyone's been telling me like, "Hey, Leo, you're muted," and I was just walking around my room with my headphones on, thinking I'm talking, but nobody was
But
listening to me. And
what do you mean? We lost you 15 minutes ago.
Don't play that, bro.
Please repeat.
He
Please
just
repeat.
got back.
That's traumatizing, man.
We hear you. We hear you, Leo.
Thank you. I know, comrade. I know. You'll never lie to me, bro. I trust you. If anybody has any questions, guys, feel free to ask too. I know, like I said in the beginning of the AMA, I know you guys were all expecting me to talk about the breeding and stuff. I mean, the staking, but like I said, unfortunately, due to certain circumstances, I wasn't able to get all of the paperwork and stuff done to do that presentation. So, I mean, hopefully, I was able to replace it with a even better announcement today.
Leo, I dropped a question in the main chat from YouTube.
Those who minted Shibadoge on the campaign will get crates dropped, right? Yeah, so if you minted during the time where we had the Mint Monday special going on, where every mint gets you a crate, you will just get those crates airdropped to the address that you minted from. So you don't have to claim anything. You don't have to do none of that. So we will make sure to get that to you guys when the crates go live. And we might do another campaign like that, one of these Mint Mondays moving forward. So keep your eyes open for that in case we introduce another event like that.
Just a quick question about the armory kind of special gold boxes that you were talking about. So say you have like 2 captains and that's what you need to mint those specific boxes. Do you think, or do you guys know if it'll be 1 per wallet, or will you be able to mint 3 for the 3 that you have?
I'm not entirely sure I understand your question. So if you have 3 pairs of NFTs, you'll, like, let's say you have 3 pairs of all captains, you'll be able to breed all 3 of them and choose the items that you want that would be specific to that. So we kind of like since we introduced the armory, so you know how we were gonna be doing a claim function as to when you breed, you're able to claim the item, the EFT that's appropriate to your ranked Shibadoge. that was going to happen directly at the time of breeding, but we very recently changed the system because when we wanted to introduce the armory, we made it so that when you're picking your traits, you're going to be able to pick your traits when you breed, but those rank specific items and legendary items and like all of the very, very rare stuff, they're not gonna happen right at the breeding. They're gonna happen in the armory itself. So you'll breed, you'll choose your items that you're wanting to pick for your bred NFT, and then you'll go over to the armory when it releases about a week after breeding, and you'll be able to pretty much daily or weekly be able to claim specific EFTs for your ranked NFT. So that's the one of the bigger changes that we made, and the reason why we did that is because first of all, scarcity. We're going to be able to control the amount of legendaries that will be put into circulation, so we'll be able to know that nothing is going to be oversaturated. The rare items will continue to stay rare. We'll be able to know that the people who actually own those NFTs are going to be able to get the full experience and have the full package of being able to be like, hey, I'm proud to own a general or a captain now because I know every week I could go into the armory and get something that somebody who doesn't own a general or a captain can't get. So that's something that is going to pretty much create a nice ladder and a nice ranking system. And I think personally that it will actually bring a bit more positive sentiment to the rarer ranks. Even though people already love the generals and they already love those higher ranked NFTs, they're going to love them even more now, and they're not going to want to let them go for anything, right? Because every week or every day or every month, you're going to be able to go in there and get a free NFT that in turn becomes more scarce over time because it'll never be released again. And it's kind of like it's kind of like a box that you could keep grabbing from.
Exactly. That's what my question was, kind of like for like claims with your rank. Would it be one per wallet or one per? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Super bullish.
I think it will be one per NFT. If I'm mistaken, Alex or Max, if you guys know if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. But I think you'll be able to claim one per NFT that you own per rank.
Awesome. Okay, sweet guys. Yeah, no, keep up the good work. This is so
Yeah,
bullish.
you'll be able to claim one for every pair, and depending on what pair, rank pair you have, will determine what Shibadoge you get.
Amazing. Yeah, it's going to be bullish.
So Leo, you said if we have any questions, well, me as a holder, I'm curious, what makes our project any other project?
Alex, you cut off. What makes our project what?
I said, what makes our project different than any other project?
Our project is different because, okay, so look, I'm going to compare it to the broad market of projects that are out there, right? So the one thing that's unique about us is we're actually not a one-shot project. We're not just Shibadoge. We're not just Burn. We're not just the Doge Army or Shiba Army. What we're doing is we're building an entire ecosystem, and that's something that not too many people do. But what people do is that they actually kind of like release something. They do their initial landing page, they do their initial roadmap, and they kind of just like let everything go on autopilot. So to be involved in this project, that you're involved with the team that actually cares, with a team that actually puts their entire blood, sweat, and tears into what they're doing. This is our passion. We actually care for the community. We actually go out of our way to make sure we over deliver rather than under deliver. We take our time with our decisions. We make sure not to rush any of our decisions, and we make sure to think 10 steps ahead before releasing, launching, or saying anything. So I think our project is very unique because of these minor things that we do, but we do them very consistently, and we do them in a very professional manner. that comes down to the way that we make our announcements, that comes down to the way that we do our support, that comes down to the way that we even host our AMAs weekly, and that comes down to the holder sentiment and the people who have been here from day one. There's a reason they're still here over a year later, is because there's obviously certain things that we are doing right. We may not be as fast paced and as fast moving as some of the other projects out there, but one thing that I can guarantee you is we will outlast those projects, which we have been doing. There are projects that had launched after us or before us that outpaced us and passed us at a certain point. But now, fast forward 6 months, fast forward 5 months, 4 months, whatever, those projects are not around anymore. They're either dead or rugged or whatever. But we're here for the long term. This is still probably not even 5% of the full potential of where we can be in the future. We have a solid team of people. We're over 20 plus people on the team as far as employees and stuff go since we started. So we're a team that continuously builds. We're a project that continuously onboards. We're a project that thinks creatively. We don't like to copy anything. We like to kind of dictate and narrate our future in a creative way, where we're trying to come up with the next big thing rather than trying to follow a wave of the next big thing. So I think with the creative powers that we have as team members and with the community combined, we will definitely be able to come up with something revolutionary, whether it's with this EFT stuff or whether it's with future developments. You guys are in good hands. I think this is something that we're pretty adamant on, knowing that, you know, this is our future. This is where we're going to want to build, and this is where we're going to want to change the world and change the way people interact with Web3 and even Web2 and even whatever Web4 and 5 in the future. We're going to be here for that. Whether things advance to a point where we can hopefully create our own blockchain, or we don't have the need to create our own blockchain. But if that happens, it happens. All I can say at the end of the day is we tweeted one thing out yesterday. We tweeted out Siberia. I'm not going to go into what it is, but if you know, you know. And if you haven't seen that tweet, maybe go check it out and throw a like on it.
Siberia for
Well,
the
you're
win.
really
Siberia
not. You're
for the
really not
win.
going to go deeper into Siberia. You're leaving
Nah,
it.
not a
If you know, you
chance.
know, huh? I see how
Yeah,
it is,
if you
boys.
know,
I
you
see.
know. That's it. That's what it is.
Oh, I know.
So I'm actually, Leo, I'm actually consolidating some questions because I get a bunch of them. So here's one of the big ones that I've gotten on multiple occasions, but I think I should just ask it for the rest of the community. What is the purpose of the EFTs and why are they important?
The purpose of the EFTs and why they're important is because NFTs look, it took us getting into this kind of sector and having our own NFT project to realize and figure out all the things that are wrong with NFTs. We love NFTs, right? I love NFTs. You love NFTs. Everybody who owns an NFT loves NFTs. But if you really dissect what NFTs are, they're broken, man. And you know, it doesn't work the way that we want it to work, right? You should be able to have more control of your NFT. It shouldn't just be a picture. Obviously, there's utility and there's, you know, different features and stuff that certain NFTs have. But we felt that that's not enough. We felt that, hey, why shouldn't you be able to dictate what your NFT does and looks like and be able to interact with your NFT on a level that nobody else can on Web3? So this is why we introduced EFTs and equipable NFTs, and I think they will shape the future of how people use their NFTs and even inspire people in the future that are launching NFT projects to kind of implement this into their project, because it's going to be, in our opinion, such a valuable resource to Web3 and the way people interact with NFTs that you can't ignore it. You really can't ignore it. We started working on this about 9 months ago on this idea, and now that we're getting close to launching, right? We're a couple of weeks out from releasing breeding and releasing the EFTs and whatnot, and you know, we got word that there are huge companies out there that are backed by multi-million-dollar firms, you know, Pharrell Williams, the Doodles, and all that. They're also doing something similar. They're not doing it the same level, on the same level of how we're doing it. They're not doing it at the extent of what we're doing, but they are getting into that customization, and you can slowly see the NFT community wanting to have customization and wanting to have the choice of what their NFT looks like. When I go to mint an NFT and I mint it and it doesn't come out the way that I want it to, I'm just kind of like, whatever. No, I can't do anything about it. But now you could do something about it. Now you could be like, hey, okay, maybe I don't have the rarest one, but I can make it look like the coolest one. And I think that plays a big factor in the way that people actually love the art and love the NFTs that they own, because at the end of the day, they are collectibles. At the root of it all, you know, I look at NFTs like trading cards or like baseball cards or whatever. They're collectibles, and people get attached to their collectibles, and you should love what you own. And if you can't love what you own, there's no point of owning it. So we're giving you guys the option to be able to create something that you love and be able to curate something that will be able to function the way that you want it to.
Incredible answer. I think that's definitely, in my opinion, just the same thing that I would have said the exact same thing. So on board. Let me look. Actually, I have a few other questions that I think are quite valuable to ask. So just give me a minute.
Sure.
Hey, Leo, it's Cousin KK. Can I jump in on that right quick before you ask another question, my man?
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you saw Elon Vitalik posted a comparison. It was a tweet, or he made it himself, with our EFTs and Doodles EFTs.
Uh-huh.
And
I didn't see it.
You didn't see that? It was probably yesterday or the day before. If I find it, I'll retweet it or repost it. But I mean, the EFTs for the Doodles. Okay, that's a different project, but it was like little pink socks and a red little bow. And it looked like it was hand drawn by a 2-year-old. And then you look at our EFTs and just the functionality and how they look, and you know it's built for war. So if that's one of the only projects that are doing EFTs now, and that's all they bring to the market, wow! I was blown away. I was blown away.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I mean, well, look, I don't ever like to hate on anybody else or what they do. Like they're actually a very strong project in the space, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a completely different vibe as to what we have going on. But the one thing that we have in common is we kind of have like the same vision as to like, hey, this is where NFTs are headed. Customization. Obviously, their project is like, you know, butterflies and rainbows, and ours is dogs and you know, recon missions and all kinds of military stuff like that. But also it's about unity, and it's about like a whole storyline that you guys haven't even seen yet, which is going to be introduced with our comic book. So the important thing is like we're on the same wavelength of people who are looking into the future of how things are going to play out. And that's what like at first I was like, oh man, look, like, you know, another project is doing what we want to do in a sense. But then I was like, wait, no, this is perfect. This validates our idea so much more that, you know, hey, like there are big multi-million-dollar backed companies that are also thinking in a similar way that we are. So yeah, man, but I get it. I get what you're saying. It's like if that's our competition, it's funny. Like, you know, we have plasma guns and AKs and frying pans, and they got, you know, butterflies and rainbows. But it's just a funny comparison.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a great.
We're ready to
project.
take over the market, baby.
Yeah.
That's right.
One more question. So let me read it. Let me just pull it up. So every investor looking to get into these NFTs are looking at a few things: floor price and volume. How is your project differentiated where that isn't as important as any other project?
Okay, perfect question. So if we were always focused on floor price and volume, that would mean our heads are in the wrong place, right? Obviously, we want the floor price and we want the volume and we want all that to be good. But the core of it all, that is not what drives us to develop and try to make Web3 a better place. In that's a byproduct of us being able to deliver on what we want to do and be able to deliver great products into the ecosystem, right? And that's exactly what we saw with pretty much most of our launches, right? We've had great launches, we've had great product releases, and I think we're going to continue to do that in the sense of new things coming out with the EFTs and staking and everything else that will be coming out this month. But at the core of it all, we're a long-term project that we're thinking 2-5 years ahead. We're not just thinking in the current week or in the current month or even the current year. I think that success that people are looking at a lot of times is driven by hype, and a lot of times driven by influence of bigger people that are promoting like celebrities that drive traffic there or this and that. But there's really nothing there. At the core of it all is just smoke and mirrors. Whereas we're not trying to deliver smoke and mirrors. We're actually trying to deliver something that will actually, be revolutionary in the sectors that we're in. And I think that will translate. Our success will translate to, volume and floor price or whatever, as we deliver successful things and continue to come through on our promises. So. At the core of it all, man, I mean, floor price and volume is great, but what's even greater is that we have a long-term vision and we're sticking to it. And I think that's what everybody is more confident in than like a nice little pump in the week or whatever. So, yeah, we have a nice road that we're following.
Yeah, I have a few more questions, but I'm going through it because I got a bunch of questions that are just like when moon, when pump. I got to go through it. I had it saved, but now there's hundreds of messages. So hold on.
Let's go, Alex. Great questions. Loving them.
If anybody else has any questions while he looks, feel free to hop in at any
So
time.
here's one. Can what Shibadoge is building be used for other projects, either to take percentage ownership in other projects or to just help grow them and then we reciprocate the benefits? I paraphrase that last part. So I paraphrased that one. Basically said, can we get some benefit from that?
Yeah, so pretty much what'll happen is initially, like immediately on launch, other projects won't be able to kind of like use our tech, but we will introduce ways for people to be able to integrate it into their projects and cross collab with us and have promotion on our development, right? Whether it's like, we partner with a bigger NFT project to introduce one of their traits, or kind of like, have them integrate our tech into one of their upcoming projects. But at the end of it all, yeah, I mean, initially it's going to be exclusive to us, but we do have plans on how we're going to source this to the majority of the market. And I think you'd probably be able to answer that question better than I could, Alex.
10-4. How you doing, Leo?
For this AMA, my friend Leo, I am just taking a journalistic standpoint. I'm just asking the questions that have been asked to me, and ones that are actually meaningful and not the usual when moon, when pump, are you guys still in business,
Right.
etc.
Gotcha. Yeah. Short answer to that is yeah. We would, other projects will be able to use our tech, but initially it will be mainly for just our project.
I agree with that. I think that's a smart decision. I think that we should build, and then we should prove it out, and then we can extend it to the rest of the Web3 world as per our mission with Unity. But I think right now it's that it would be wise for us to just focus on our project and what we're doing. One additional question. This one really stood out to me. This one was really, this one kind of hit home for me. And the question meant a lot, and I actually spent a few hours on it, which is cool. I get so many different ones. Bring a lot of to be the guy. And one, the question, I can't pull.
Alex, you're cutting off again. You're cutting off, bro.
With
You sound like a robot.
When Wi-Fi.
Can
When
you hear
Wi-Fi.
me? Wi-Fi, can you
You-
hear me? Can you hear
Hear
me?
you now. Yeah. Now it's okay.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, this question came up. I can't find it, but it was essentially like, so what's the point of doing like a comic book? What's the point of doing NFTs? What's the point of doing this creative or NFTs? It's like the essence of it. And I spent a lot of time thinking about that. I think that was like a question that really tripped me out. Valuable. So I wanted to just ask that in the AMA. You know, what is the purpose of doing a comic book? What is the purpose of creating a world on NFTs? What is that? What does that even do? What does that mean for holders? What does that mean for our members? You know, what is that? What is it? So I'll leave it at that.
Gotcha. Okay, so I have a great answer for that.
Mind you, I
were
have
cutting
my
off
own
again.
answer. I have my own answer, by the way, Leo. But I want you, like, this is an AMA for a reason, so I'm gonna use it to my full extent. Okay.
Yeah, gotcha. So the main thing that people need to realize is we're not just creating a storyline just to create it. Some of the best storylines in the world have shaped the greatest companies in the world. I'm talking Disney, I'm talking books like Harry Potter, movies like Harry Potter, I'm talking Star Wars, I'm talking anything that has a great, amazing storyline, you can scale. And that is what we're trying to do with the way that we kind of like introduce the storyline, is be able to not produce, but also, kind of produce, but also introduce a storyline that people can have a attachment to, create a media side of things to our project. So then we're not just only a crypto project, but we're also a media company in a sense too, where we can all leverage that to scale everything else in our ecosystem and be able to build it to a point where it's entertainment rather than just kind of like not only Web3 stuff, but it's also entertainment. And entertainment companies, I'm talking like movies, video games, I'm talking comic books, I'm talking regular books, I'm talking all kinds of things where people can actually spend their free time on. And in turn, if you deliver great products on that end, you're also scaling the entire back end of everything else you're doing, and you're able to spread the word on your entire ecosystem and shed a different light on it with the way you express yourself in your storytelling. So storytelling is something that we've always recognized as something that's important. Obviously, we've started that journey with some of the things that we've introduced in the past, but now we're taking it more seriously and kind of like, having our first actual release with the comic book and having our first actual release with how these EFTs and these NFTs are going to play a part in the storyline. And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to just say Siberia, but I'm not going to say what it is. But it's kind of like, everything is going to like tie into each other in a way to a point where, it can strike the interest of the broader audience of people rather than, us just targeting a niche community of people who are interested in Web3, which is still good. There's still a lot of people that we can target and penetrate in Web3, but we have a much bigger, much broader audience of people who are into just pure entertainment and pure media. So, us approaching this on on that route, that's what I think is going to be powerful for growth and for us to be able to scale Shibadoge Labs and everything else into into high gear. So I hope that makes any sense.
Are
It
you
does.
not
I want to just jump
entertained?
in because What?
Sorry, I just threw a movie quote out. Are you not entertained? Sorry for interrupting.
We'll take
problem.
any kind of meme terminology. We'll take it. So I was sitting there with Peter today, and we were just talking, and he's like, and he's not a guy who speaks a lot. Okay, he just does not. He keeps to himself, and then like randomly he'll just bust the most insightful stuff. So he's like, imagine 5 years from now, look at the top ranked coins in the world on CoinMarketCap. Imagine yourself 5 years from now on CoinMarketCap. Who do you see? And I was like, well, I mean, I see the big ones, right? Hopefully, because I mean, we're all invested in some of the big ones. And he's like, but really think about it. The coins and the companies that you see today, 95% of them will be gone, but only a few will remain. And the few that do, those are the ones that you want to be involved with today. Your job today is to figure out who are you going to pick, who are you going to be involved with, that is going to turn you, that is going to be that will be there in 5 years from now. And that was very, very insightful. And I thought about that a lot, and I said, geez, you really have to do something with a project that is looking at this world of Web3 in a bigger way, in a more meaningful way. And every meme coin has this problem, right? Every meme coin has this fallacy where they have to decide, okay, what is going to be their legitimacy curve? What is it going to make them legitimate? I think for us, Leo, I think it kind of started with a different purpose, which is very different than sort of like, hey, I'm going to try to create a company. I'm not going to know what the company is, but let me just launch a token. For us, it was like, let's just launch this because we know the community and the world needs this, considering where we were as investors. So I think that sort of makes us different. But at the same time, we're also bringing so many different elements to this project that are going to legitimize it in ways that people aren't even thinking about. Aside from just being and existing, right? I think that's one of the things that kind of gets me excited and gets me motivated to wake up in the morning is here we are, at the end of the day, yes, it's a meme coin. And meme coins, they come, they go, but we haven't gone. We're nowhere near gone. In fact, we're just getting started. Yep. And here we are with the opportunity to create the next, I don't want to say marvel, but I heard you say that in one of these last AMAs, and that kind of stood out to me because I was like, damn, I was like, these guys created an entire universe, a universe out of nothing. Like, we all know Batman. We all know, sorry, that's DC. My bad, guys. My bad. But you get my point. We all know these characters that exist, and we even have hybrids, crossovers. And I'm like, okay, these are billion-dollar enterprises. And here we are with 1+ million Shiba holders, call it 4 million people that are invested in Doge. And frankly, they're not that happy. I mean, I'm very in tune with the audiences of the Shiba and Doge community, and they're just they're looking at it as, oh, chart goes up, chart goes down. And there isn't many people that are thinking about, oh, like, what can be built on top of it? What can be done to make this community even better? Like, obviously the chart's going to be down in a bear market. So what can we do in the meantime to just stay entertained and stay excited and have fun with this thing? That's what meme coins are about. And
exactly.
I think that we in this bear market have done an incredible job of I mean, one, being present, right? Because it's like you look at all these other coins that are out there and the presence is lacking, and frankly you don't really want that presence because it's just it's just a bunch of crap. But when it comes to us, it's like we're building, and I hate that cliche, I really do, where it's like, oh, you know, it's a bear market, so let's build. No, fuck that, right? Fuck that. We are building products that would exist whether this Web3 space would exist or not. And we have such an incredible opportunity with this community to go and build a franchise, build an IP, build IP to the next level. And yeah, I mean, I'm just going based off what you said, but I think this is an incredible space to be. I think it's an incredible time to be in this, and I'm really proud of where we've gotten. This month has gotten me extremely excited because of all the things that we're going to be launching. You know, we've been talking about breeding for so long, Leo, and finally to see it actually work. And obviously we have the beta, the alpha, so we're able to see equipped to things. But once you see an item equipped to an actual Shibadoge, it changes. Like the feeling, like the opportunities are kind of endless once you see that actually equipped to an NFT. It's so much different than anything you see on OpenSea today. So yeah, I'll leave it
man.
at that because I'm going on a rant of excitement, and there I go.
No, man, definitely. You said IP again too, and I think that's all it is, man. We're building something that we want to be able to scale into. You know, obviously Marvel would be ideal, or like Disney would be ideal. Something like that would be like something, you know, like a dream come true. But the important thing is we have that vision, and we know where we want to take this, and we know how we want to you know, move forward, and the moves that we want to make, and how it impacts the way people look at you as a project. And you know, I'm talking about investors, I'm talking about different companies, I'm talking about collaborations, I'm talking about how advertisers choose to curate with you. And the beautiful thing is, you know, while we're building that IP, you guys are having a chance to own that IP with the NFTs, with, you know, the artwork, with the EFTs. Like those are all things that are owned by you guys as well. So as we work to build this IP into something next level, you guys are also on that journey with us, because you guys, if you own an NFT, you own that IP that, you know, we're working so hard to try to create a storyline for, and kind of like, you know, turn into a bigger thing. So that's the beautiful part of Web3, is being able to kind of like have that ownership and be able to have a piece of the pie into, you know, what you're buying. So that's, you're right. We are still super early, and it is a great time to be in the space. You know, the bear market was unfortunate, but what the bear market taught us is, you know, all the fakes and all the people who were around for you know, the smoke and mirrors and the shits and giggles, they're all gone. You know, they don't last. Like those people, it's very easy to make a few bucks and just leave and quit. You know, like, and we saw that happen with a lot of projects, even a lot of projects that we wouldn't have expected that from. But you know, the bear market does its thing, and I'm glad that it was able to shake out those bad actors, and you know, the people who are dedicated continue to build and continue to support their projects and continue to be on top of their community and on top of the things that they've promised. And I think we've done a great job as to holding strong and being able to you know, fight through the bear market as well. Obviously, we're not going anywhere. There could be 30 bear markets, we'll still be here, still fighting and kicking. So I think we're on track to do good, guys. You know, it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of us continuing to follow this vision that we want, and we know what we're doing. And as long as we can continue doing what we're doing and continue building a solid team moving forward, I don't think we're going to be running into any issues.
I definitely agree with that. I appreciate that. I mean, you know, as holders of Doge, holders of Sheep, I mean, let me ask you this: what kind of entertainment? What aside from just the chart, what do you have to be able to look at? Like, what is there to do?
Well, Now nothing. At least like back when we were involved like heavily, there was a community, right? And that's what kept us busy, and that's what kept us kind of like involved, is because we were, talking with people who were like-minded with us, and talking with people who were early, and then when those communities like kind of fell apart, the whole the diversions and stuff that happened, we kind of were like, hey, like that sucks, because that's the only thing that was keeping us entertained, and now all that's left is tweets from Elon or chart analysts, so that gets boring very quick. And I think having a sense of community and people you can hang out with and have fun with is one of the most important things in this space. So I know that's what was my favorite thing, and even now is my favorite thing. Like I was talking to Max the other day. He's like, dude, you're going through a bunch of stuff. He's like, let me take care of today's AMA, Thursday's AMA. I was like, dude, I want to do it because I feel like I'm missing something by not being able to attend, because I love doing this, right? And I don't like letting people down. I don't like missing days. I don't like being late or whatever. But it just goes to show you that, like, how dedicated we are and how much we even enjoy doing this. And the reason that we want to have a community like this is because it, like you said, if there wasn't anything like this, all we are a chart, and that gets boring very, very quickly.
100% agreed. And in some cases, unfortunately, AMAs would be considered a utility, Leo.
In a sense, I believe that's right.
Yeah, but that's not a utility. That's just it's what we built this to do, which was just to hang out, just be a part of it. And,
That's it, bro. We don't have to do these AMAs. We do them because we want to do them. We don't have to. We do them because we enjoy it. We want to do it. We want to be transparent. We want to be able to update you guys as much as humanly possible. Obviously, we could send out a text and an announcement, but it's different when you have a voice behind it, when you can feel the energy, when you can actually communicate with the person who's delivering that message, and we know how important that is to people. And and in a space of avatars and space of just voices, it's good to be able to have that human connection with people, talking to them over a voice chat. So I think that these AMAs are very, very important, and they're going to stick around and be a staple of our project for as long as we're around, I guess.
We got a question in the main chat by MRX. You've already
MRX, do
answered.
we have a date for? Yeah, I've already answered that. I don't know. Is he in the AMA? Let me check.
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
I guess, like, Leo, it would be it. I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to like a staking announcement, obviously we can release staking, relatively in the short term, but we've heard from plenty of people that have, spent a decent amount in gas fees, and so we're looking at, what would it take from a technological standpoint to be able to go and integrate that into a layer 2 solution. So we're talking, Polygon, etc. What would that take to make it more efficient so that the gas fees are not as high as it was? And obviously that's something that we've talked about in the past, and it's something that we're still considering today, and more so considering today than we were before. But in reality, if you were to look at our roadmap, we've got breeding, we've got the armory, which is the entire customizing element of our NFTs. You've got the free mint, which is the supply crate. That's going to be a lot of tech resources allocated towards that. And once everything has gone smoothly with that, and everyone is able to kind of play with the system the way that it's designed to be played with, then we can start to tackle, okay, are we going to make this more efficient? Because at the end of the day, we want you to spend a couple pennies on the gas fees and get the results. I've heard from many, many people within our community that is obviously one of the biggest sort of upset points or struggles or frustrations. So we want to solve that, and it'll also do numbers for our project once we do have a layer 2 migration, sort of layer 2 solution. So we're looking into that actually as we speak, and figuring out what that's going to take to be able to incorporate, whether it's in this season or the next season. So we'll keep you updated on that.
Yeah, and that layer 3 solution, it wouldn't only be beneficial for staking, it will be beneficial for a lot of the things that we're introducing in the future. So once we get this down, and once we are able to kind of perfect it, we will definitely introduce it. And like you said, we're trying to get it done for this season right now, but we have our developers working on it pretty much, trying to see if it's something we can do that quickly. But like I said, we never rush anything. We always make sure to cross our T's and dot our I's before we make any moves. So, if we realize it's not going to be something that's going to be so easy to do this season, don't, we'll just put it for next season. But I don't think we'll delay the staking for that by any means. So, kind of just to give a little recap, because I know some people who might have joined late didn't know, but breeding is coming first. Breeding target date is March 13, so 11 days from now. Right after breeding, the armory will be introduced, about give or take a week. After the armory, it will be the free mint, the supply crates, and that's we're aiming to have that launch 10 days after breeding launches. And then after the crates go live, that's when we'll finally release the staking season 3. And when staking season 3 comes out, then obviously we'll see whether the layer 3 solution is ready by then or not. But if not, it'll be kind of similar to how it was in season 2 as far as the gas goes. But there will be some changes, and like I said, that will be something that we talk about during the staking AMA. I still have to prepare a bunch of docs for that. Like I said, we were supposed to have that today, but we replaced it with all of these announcements instead. So I'll be looking forward to sharing more information on that with you guys in the coming AMAs.
I dropped a YouTube question in the main chat, Leo.
Okay, let's see. Is there a idea bin where we could drop off super good or crazy ideas? Yes, there is. You can go to our Reddit, or you can go to our Discord. Like, Discord is a great tool. Let's use Discord more, guys. Like I said, we're going to be putting a lot of emphasis on Discord moving forward, because a lot of the marketing that we do is going to include our Discord, and a lot of these collaborations that we're doing with these and other NFT projects, they all use Discord like pretty much exclusively. They don't really use Telegram. They all use Discord. So it's going to be very important that we have an active community of people on there. Obviously, we know the majority of people in our community are mainly in Telegram, but we do have a lot of people in Discord too. We just need to kind of like get more used to using it more often. And I do know, me and Max were talking, we do want to host some of these AMAs in that Discord moving forward, to kind of like, give people more of a reason to come in and interact with the Discord. So don't be surprised if the next, 2 weeks of AMAs or whatever are exclusively held on Discord, because that's something that is a possibility. But join the Discord, guys. It's gonna be popping here in a few days.
Leo, I wanted to bring something up that one of our holders addressed as being something of a concern, and I think it's a very valid concern, and something that we've brought up to our legal teams. But as you know, the regulatory environment is a little bit bearish in terms of the word staking, right? Let's just call it the word staking, but
Right.
also more so in the typical and traditional crypto sense. So, I wanted to bring that up because obviously there are governmental regulations around, securities, etc. And we've taken a very strong position, and obviously one that is legally in favor, that it sort of makes sure that we always are never crossing that line. And we use the word staking, right? And I think that's kind of unfair to the project. It's kind of not the right word to use for starters, right? Whether we use it or not, that's irrelevant. I mean, we're going to use it. And it's definitely not the right approach, because at the end of the day, if you were to think about this in a gamified world, in a gamified ecosystem, this would be earning rewards in the form of tokens, just like you would if you were playing a game like Candy Crush, or you were playing, just like any game, like Call of Duty, right? Like for every kill, you get a coin, right? And so when it comes to deploying your troops with the NFTs, it is vastly different than if you were to stake your cryptocurrency, specifically ETH, where you basically lock up your NFT, your ETH for a period of time, and actually an undefined period of time, and then you're able to get X% in rewards. And that I think from what our legal has told us, it is where that reward percentage is coming from that is really loosely defined, and also a really big problem. And that is something that I don't think is really, obviously I want to be cautious and I want to make sure that we're always above board. But when it comes to our NFTs and deploying them as troops into our ecosystem and into our war zone, into the war zone version 2, war zone version 3, that is wildly different than if it was just locking up your cryptocurrency for a defined or indefinite period of time and getting a percentage of rewards. There's no guarantee of rewards. There's no guarantee of, a APR. It's not like a traditional bank, right? I think this is where the governments are giving a lot of coins and projects a problem, is because they're guaranteeing a interest rate. And it is not the business of coins to guarantee an interest rate. All that a coin can do and all that a project can do is guarantee the returns within a coin. And the coin does not have a definitive value. So I want to make sure that, like, obviously this is something that's been addressed. It's something that's come up a few times, and someone very close to us has brought that up as being a really big concern. I think that's important to address, because right now the SEC and the governments are cracking down on cryptocurrencies primarily for this reason. And it's not so much, okay, they're cracking down. Look, that's a big problem. But it's also because they have the power to shut down your project. And that's not something that I think we even teeter into the realm of crossing that bridge. We're not even in that same sphere. We're sort of more in the, if we were to be a game, or sort of, I keep going back to that because it's the closest parallel that I can think of,
Yeah. So the difference between like what they're cracking down on compared to what we do is, like you said, like we don't make anybody lock their tokens up for an indefinite amount of time. Everything is at free will, and we call it staking, like you say, but it's not like just staking, because what staking is to them is like, hey, you lock it up and you earn interest, like you said. And the reason why the SEC and governments are cracking down on those protocols is because they're trying to do what banks do, right? Like those people who are promising interest on your locked money or your locked assets, they're doing what banks do, and that's not what like the governments want to see. What we're doing is we introduced our war zone, right? War zone is a gamified thing. It's a amount of rewards that you earn from playing the game is all supplied through us. We supply a pool of tokens for people to earn by playing and interacting with their NFTs. We do have to work on maybe saying the word staking. That's something that I'm very open to changing, and we could change that, to something called like deploying or playing or whatever. But I do want to be clear that, like we, like you said, we did talk to legal, and we did talk to everybody that we needed to talk to in sense of this, because we, obviously got the memo a few weeks back to as to what the SEC is doing. But we kind of steered clear of the whole situation, because we know, like, we're a lot different. We're not a protocol. Firstly, we're not a staking protocol. We're not a exchange. We're not promising
I mean, what
people.
our legal team
Yeah.
said, Leo, right? You were on the call. Is that's not staking.
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah.
as much as you
Exactly.
put it that way. But keep going.
Our concern was like, because we're calling it staking, and in our heads we always like, that's what we always called it. So it's going to be like tough to start saying something else about it, but we have to take that step in order to start saying something else about it, referring to it as a game rather than staking, because it is not staking. You're playing a game on Web3. It's a DApp. Let's call it a DApp, where you're deploying your troops into the war zone. Your troops are going into the war zone and kind of collecting these coins for you, and you're at your free will. You can put your troops into the war zone, take them out of the war zone whenever you want, at your free will. It's never locked in there. Even after the season is over, you don't have to take it out. You could just leave them in there. So we're not holding onto anything that people are giving us. We're not benefiting in any way by holding people's NFTs or having them inside of the war zone. A lot of these exchanges and a lot of these protocols that hold people's ETH or coins or whatever, they use those coins to make strategic moves and trades and whatever else they decide to do with other people's assets. We don't do that. We don't even have the ability to touch those assets while they're in the staking contract or the Warzone contract. So it's completely different as to what the broad audience of people are referring to. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we always want to steer clear of that. We don't want to be considered a security, and everything that we release is kind of strategic. And before we release anything, we always talk to legal first and make sure we're not doing anything without thinking. So I think we're in a good spot.
Siberia,
baby. There's no laws in Siberia for Warzone.
Someone on the YouTube is saying to call it mining.
It's a game.
I
It's a game.
wouldn't even. It's a great name. It's an absolutely great name, and it's what it should be called. But unfortunately, it's the reality is that it is deploying your troops. You're putting your troops on active duty, and you can imagine where that can go 3
He
years
said
from now.
duty.
Yeah, you can imagine where that can go 3 years from now when this is an entirely interactive experience. That's all I'm going to say. We'll leave it at that. But there's going to be a lot of, nobody's talking about the most popular games in the world, the most popular apps in the world, the most popular utility software in the world, where that is, where in exchange for performing activities you receive X. Nobody's talking about that. They're talking about ETH staking. They're talking about Bitcoin staking. It is what it is.
Yeah. Because think about it, man. Look how much problems people have had with having their assets locked into these exchanges. Like, all these exchanges that are just, filing bankruptcy or like look at FTX even, or look at some of these bigger dudes that are just doing shady things. Like, that's what the governments are concerned about. People not being able to have full control of what they're doing with their coins or with their items or whatever, their Web3 assets. That's not what we're about. We're a meme project that developed a game where you can now earn our native coin by playing the game, right? That's it. It's not staking, never has been. Yeah, we might have referred to it as that, but that's just because that's what was any project who did something similar referred to it as that, right? It's at the core of it all. That's not what it is. It's not what they're referring to. So we're good. We're just gonna have to choose our words a little more carefully. We definitely stop calling it staking because we don't want to attract unwanted attention, even though we're not doing anything wrong, right?
So we need to come up with a name. What should we call it?
Gaming rewards.
Yeah, Call of Booty.
Follow.
We launched the first ever war zone. Your spoils. It's as simple as that. What are your
Yeah.
spoils?
Spoils, yeah. So you deploy your troops and you get spoils.
I mean,
That's it.
that is what every war has been built on in the history of mankind.
True. Yeah, we can change it. We can, if we say it enough times, I guess people will start picking it up.
Yeah. It at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to like what the community really says. More or less to what we refer to it when we're kind of addressing it to the community, I think, right? So yeah, I think obviously as we work on finding a new word for it and start calling it that, then you guys will catch on and start calling it that too. So we'll just work on that.
Yep, sounds good.
Anything else, guys? Any other questions? Anything that you guys want to ask before we wrap this up?
I just want to say thanks. A lot of great news tonight.
Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate that, man.
Everything's going awesome. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you, bro. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Thank you.
Just get ready to breed your NFTs. It's going to be insane. Leo, can I borrow you for 5 minutes after the chat?
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Hey,
Cool.
we'll go ahead and call it a wrap here. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to always just tag me in the main chat. I'll never DM you first. If you guys get a DM from anyone claiming to be me or anyone on our team, just default to knowing that it's not us, or at least double check before you make any decisions on clicking anything. I'll never DM you a link or anything like that either. So don't get scammed. I know that's still something that happens every now and then to people who are not careful. So keep your eyes open for that. But I'm going to end this AMA here. And as always, if you missed Doge, that sucks. If you missed Shiba, that also sucks. If you missed Shibadoge and everything else that we announced today, then you're going to freeze your ass off in Siberia because you suck. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Love you guys. Peace.
Love, peace. Peace, love, Alex.
Adios.
See you soon. Come more often.
Yes, sir. You know it.
Yeah, man.